This is Detroit, Michigan, and it is time for the Detroit Auto Show. It's the beginning of the automotive year, and it's Detroit's celebration of its history as the Motor City. At one time, it was one of the centers of American industry. In the early 20th century, much like Silicon Valley today, it changed America and the world. This is the Detroit Institute of the Arts. It's the second largest municipally owned art museum in the United States and dates back to 1883. It's an encyclopedic collection, so it has all styles of art. And it's famous for its Diego Rivera mural, Detroit Industry, commissioned by Edsel Ford, and caused quite a sensation for its socialistic overtones. Today it's in the news because its collection is valued at $8.1 billion. Back here is the Detroit Athletic Club. It's been here since 1887. It's a private club. There's a running track at the top and there are dining rooms. In a way, you could put out a sign, home of the 3 martini lunch, because it's easy to imagine the number of business deals done here. The Detroit Opera House is across the street, and today, Comerica Park and Ford Field is right behind it. Across the street is Detroit Symphony Hall. It was built in 1919, and it's known for its excellent acoustics. Today, it's the home of the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, the 4th oldest orchestra in the United States, and in the early 20th century made a name for itself in pioneering radio broadcasts. Today, Leonard Slatkin is the music director. Here is a branch of the Detroit Public Library. There's been a library on this site since 1865.
At the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas last week, and you can feel it right here in Detroit. The auto industry is absolutely part of the technological revolution. And you know, I have a prediction. I think we'll have more questions in this show about autonomy, connectivity, and urban mobility than we will about horsepower and torque. And as Bill mentioned, in this very brave new world, the winners will be the innovators, they'll be the disruptors, and those that are willing to break with tradition and find new answers.
Ford's innovation is the all-aluminum F-150 pickup truck, not so much the cars shown in Detroit. The last few years they have revamped the Mustang to the 1960s shape, and this year they are recycling the past with the GT350 and recapturing their past glory at Le Mans with a new Ford GT concept that has a resemblance to the Lamborghini concept seen last fall in Paris, except it has more tasteful rear scoops. The GT is even in the same color. So much for Ford innovation.
America has 2 luxury car companies. There used to be a lot more. There's Cadillac. It was the car that you drove to signal that you had been successful. Lincoln, on the other hand, was a little more aristocratic, kind of dictated by the sophisticated tastes of Edsel Ford, Henry's son. There were famous cars like the Zephyr, and in the 1960s, the Lincoln Continental, at the time, America's most expensive car. Today, they're using this bow wave grille, reminiscent of the Zephyr, in trying to make a comeback.
Both Cadillac and Lincoln are trying to regain lost luster. Cadillac with horsepower and Lincoln with personalization, inspired by high-end design elements, stylish accessories, and nature. Lincoln calls it Black Label and is using high-quality leather and craftsmanship details in several trim arrangements. The new Lincoln MKX SUV does have a nice feel inside.
Good morning and a very special welcome and a very special time for BMW. Once again, we finished 2014 as the #1 premium brand in the United States, selling almost 340,000 units, a new record, the highest US volume in BMW's history. And we are proud to be the premium leader in the Americas from Canada to South America.
Ladies and gentlemen, Executive Vice President of the Acura Business Planning Office, Mr. Eric Berkman.
Well, good morning, folks, and thanks for joining us today. This is a big day for the Acura brand. We're here today for the exciting world debut of the new NSX. Now, starting today, you will see Acura focus even more strongly on our core values and DNA as a challenger brand.
The new NSX comes into a crowded field of supercars. The first one was a supercar breakthrough, changing forever the drivability of Ferrari and Porsche. The new one now has to contend with powerhouse Ferrari and Porsche, as well as Lamborghini, Audi, and McLaren. The new car does have a nice proportion, promise of great performance, and good wheel tire stance.
A surprising story of American cars is Buick. It goes back to 1903 and David Dunbar Buick. Buick is the oldest active marque in America, and its early financial success was a cornerstone to the starting of General Motors. Louis Chevrolet was a race car driver for Buick. Today, they sell about 2/3 of their production in China. And in the early 20th century, the Chinese elite were driving imported Buicks. And that heritage has helped fuel their success there today.
The Buick Avenir concept car has the future written all over it. Styled by US and Australian design teams, with the right Chinese market telltale signs. Limousine size, rear seat setback so passengers can see out and outsiders can't see in, and a statement waterfall grille looking like a Buick Model 51 from 1942. This Maserati coupe concept seems to have a little US Buick in it, an Avenir rear treatment, and Buick-like tri-vents in the front quarter panels. In the beginning of the 20th century, Detroit was a city of individuals inventing things, starting businesses, becoming outlandishly rich, really much like Silicon Valley today. It was America's arsenal in World War II, but hubris, arrogance, isolation ignored the rise of Japanese and German automakers and bankrupted the car companies and the city. In 100 years, Will Silicon Valley be like Detroit?